You know, in every election, we like to compare this year to the past years. What does it look like this year compared to 2012 to 2008? But there's a reason why in North Carolina that's particularly difficult to do, and that's because, as we mentioned earlier in the program, about 250 people are added to the population of the state every single day. So that's migration from the north. Those are families growing. And so the state is changing quickly. Still, there is a tradition in the state of North Carolina, and we're going to talk a little bit about it with Jason Husser. He's a politics professor and director of the Elon University poll. We don't talk about polls today, Jason, but it's great to have you on the program. I know you've been looking at a lot of numbers. What is the tradition in the state of North Carolina when it comes to politics?
North Carolina has really been a red state for most of its history. In some ways, it was a reluctant swing state. George W. Bush won both elections with almost 13 points, for only McCain to lose by less than half a point in 2008. What we've really seen in North Carolina is a story of mass migration, primarily from northeastern areas, to the state and totally changing our state politics.
And so how is that changing the way that you're looking at this election cycle?
This election cycle is really important to find out where these folks in the big urban centers are turning out to vote. If we see high levels of turnout in places like Raleigh and Guilford County and Mecklenburg County, that's not necessarily the best sign for some campaigns.
Who would it not be the best sign for?
If we see high urban turnout, it's going to be really problematic for Republicans across the board. That said, it does seem that Trump has a great deal of enthusiasm in rural and suburban areas throughout North Carolina.
What has been an issue in particular that seems to be really motivating voters in this state?
In many ways, what we've been finding and talking to folks across the state in our polls is really about personalities of the candidates. People concerned about Hillary Clinton personally, either things connected to emails or her past record, and then folks who sort of just have a sense of being fed up with the political system.
Now, it's not just the president that we're looking at. Of course, we're looking at the race for governor. That's going to be a tight race, and also a race for Senate, the senator here, which could change the makeup of the Senate for the entire country. What do you think is notable about those two races for voters that are not in the state?
The North Carolina governor's race has been one of the most contentious in the country. It is possible that we see an incumbent Republican lose the governor's race. That said, he's still got a very good chance going forward. The U.S. Senate race was one that a lot of folks didn't really think that much about. It wasn't on the radar screen that it was going to be that tight of a race. However, the Democrat has surged forward over time. That said, it does seem that the Republican incumbent, Richard Burr, has a pretty good chance going forward.